Good morning, everybody. Jim, what Dugan thinks. Yeah, I'm letting you guys look at my ugly mug today. Thought it'd be a change of pace. Thought I'd come to you with a channel update and some things that are going on in my life that I don't mind sharing with you guys. I appreciate this knife community like you can't imagine. Especially the guys that are into the traditionals. You know, like HT, Big Jim, Arkansas Boy, One Dot. I can go on. I'm not good at remembering all of them. But all you guys mean a lot to me in watching your videos and have gotten me through some pretty tough times, and I appreciate that. And the prayers and well wishes were answered. I don't know why I was so blessed. I'm not quite sure, but I was. The first thing I want to address is Sunday Gunday. That's something I really wanted to produce and do every week, even though sometimes it was hard for me to do. In YouTube's infinite wisdom, they took down the first video. The paragraph they sent me telling me why they took it down and the warning they gave me was vague at best. The best I can tell, I made an observation telling you guys on how to perhaps buy something like a Pew Pew at a more affordable price. That's one part of it that it could have been. It could have been that I had a CAN there and imposed that you could put it on to the end of the Pew Pew. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know which. But during the time I was in the hospital, I came home to a complete strike now. They took down the censored video that I had done, that I felt like I'd done a really good job on omitting all the things that they disagreed with. Maybe not, maybe, I don't know, to be honest with you, but I don't want any more strikes against the channel. So I'm going to suspend the Sunday Gunday thing until I'm out of my probationary period, which is not going to be almost until the end of the year. I apologize that if you guys were looking forward to that particular segment of my content. I'm bummed out about it, but there's not much I can do about it. Okay. I've been in the hospital for about a week, and then I was in rehab for about a week. I am now out, and I'm very weak. Part of this is my own demise after the extremely long hospital I had visit last year of 5 weeks, and then rehab after that. And part of it was because of some issues with blood pressure being too low, but that's an excuse, I guess, to some degree. A lot of it had to do with me not doing my rehab the way I needed to do it. So I need to buck up and just get that done. It's going to take me a while to get on my feet, but I want to get back to the range. I retired early-ish. I just kind of stayed with the company part-time that bought ours. And anyway, long story short, it doesn't matter. Basically, I need to buck up. That's the bottom line. But with your guys' support, I can do it. My big goal this year is to get to Ellenville to the knife show. I want to meet the knife doctor and the world famous Michael Hale and all the other people, HT, Big Jim. I can go on. I hope every one of y'all can make it that can make it. I've already got reservations. My son's going to go with me. And if I have to use my dang walker, I'm going to use my dang walker. But I'm going to the show come hell or high water. Excuse my French. That's my goal this year. That's like on a major bucket list for me. And I want to get that done. Beyond that, all I can do is, again, thank you guys so much for supporting me. And at this point, if you guys want to turn this off, if you're not into faith, if you're not into God, or you're not willing to sit here and listen to my story, I don't have any problem with that. You guys can move on. But I'm going to tell you a real story, and I want you to understand that this really happened. First thing, I want to thank this community for rejuvenating my faith in God and into Christianity. I've been in and out, tapping my toe in the water, taking it out, tapping my toe in the water, taking it out. And, you know, I had some near-life experiences last year with being in the hospital, tapping my toe in again. Well, let me tell you, this was a very hard hospital stay. After being in so long last year And toward the end of this one, there was an accident that happened that I won't go into details, that involved my catheter. And with that said, it kind of sent me off into a orbit again, like I was in the hospital last time. Very scary situation for me. Well, Saturday morning, this last Saturday, and of course all my videos have the date on the front of the introduction, so you can figure out what time frame this is if you're watching this 100 years from now. I got up that morning, physical therapy came in, and I was a basket case. I couldn't get my stuff together for nothing. I was upset, but they encouraged me to walk anyway. So I got up and walked with them. I did the best I could do, and they sat me in the recliner, and breakfast came. Doctors came in and saw me. They usually all come through in the morning, and I have a slew of specialists. This happened to be the hospitalist, the person that makes the final decision whether you get to go home or not. I'd already seen urology, nephrology, everything else. She said, "You're going home today." As a matter of fact, she had told me the day before I was going home Saturday, and that they had a bed for me at the rehab facility. So I hung my hat on that, of course. With that said, the day lingered on and lunch came. Okay, so they come in and ask you what you want for lunch, which I really didn't care at that point. So I ate lunch, was a good boy, still in the recliner at this point. So I've been in the recliner since about 8 in the morning, and now it's after 12. At 2:30, this lady comes in to bring me some of my medicine for my Parkinson's, and she says, "By the way, you're not leaving today." I lost it. Got very upset, bawled like a fat baby, and just was disheartened. So I wasn't even going to take my medicine, and I said, that just hurts me. And I put my head down, and I prayed. And I really try not to ask for anything. I've got everything in the world I want. I, know where I'm going to go at this point. I know that it's real, but I did pray to please get me out of here. And I told the nurse, the charge nurse, I said, if I'm here, I want off this floor. Either I'm out of this hospital or I'm off this floor. And of course, she didn't pay any attention to me at all, but she said she's going to go check to see if that information was right. So I prayed for a good minute or two or three. And I picked up my head and I was looking out the window at the river and the interstate out there. And I was just sitting there trying to think what that night was going to bring for me, because it's very horrifying. About this time, coming beside me here, because my door was behind me, a gentleman comes in a uniform and he says, "I think I'm here to get you today." And it was the ambulance driver to take me to the rehab facility. So prayers can be answered. I think they're all answered. I don't know that they all are yes or no. I don't know that some of them are just in between. But that particular day, that particular instance, the power of prayer prevailed for me. You guys do what you want with that story. It's a true story. It's exactly what happened. I thank God every night when I go to sleep that I've had a good day. I say my prayers, sometimes multiple times a day. But this community has brought my faith back to me in more ways than you will ever know. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to post this video. I hope you guys taken the content that it's meant to be taken. That I'm not going to say miracles are performed, but they are. That was no miracle by any stretch, but it definitely was a prayer answered by an old fat guy sitting in a hospital room all by himself, praying to get out of that room that day. And I'll never forget that. I want each and every one of y'all to have a blessed day. Thank you if you stayed this long. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Look for my videos. I hope you get a lot of work done this week. Let's plan on it, right? See y'all later.